Even though they defeated the Cerberus Minosaur, the effects of the poison do not disappear, and the victims continue to suffer. The Minosaur's poison turns out to be highly infectious, as Asuna and Bamba are quickly falling victim to it as well. In the city, Tankjo harnesses seismic energy to rampage. Ko and Melt quickly look for ways to remove the toxin from their bodies so they can fight, but the final effects of the poison are starting to grow more and more. Kishiryu Sentai RyuSoulger Episode 6, Counterattack Tankjo. So this is the final part of the two-part Tankjo arc, I would say. So, as I said in the synopsis, Cerberus Minosaur's poison is not dissipating despite the fact that Bamba definitely destroyed it. So they hypothesize that the one that gave Toa the poison was actually a different Cerberus Minosaur. There is a brother, an elder brother, kind of to mirror the two RyuSoulger brothers, Toa and Bamba. So Bamba tries to look for it, but he becomes afflicted by the poison himself. It also passes on to Asuna and to Yui as well, leaving Ko and Melt to deal with the elder Cerberus Minosaur before those two succumb to it as well. But they are able to retrieve one of its teeth in order to create an antidote, and we are reintroduced to a character that hasn't been in the series since the first episode, the Elder, the Elder of the RyuSoul tribe. He returns and he's working as a kebab store owner. Yep. I honestly don't know why. I think it does come off as something comedic, but honestly, it wasn't really necessary to have him as like, oh yes, I'm now a kebab store owner. Because the village is destroyed. It's like I had nothing better to do, and I'm really starting to love kebabs. So I don't know. It was weird. I will say, honestly, it was weird. How he's introduced is just Tiramigo takes the infected Ko and Melt to him, and then he is the Elder is the one that creates the antidote. So honestly, the Elder could have stayed in the village, and the outcome would have been the same of Tiramigo heading straight for him so they can make the antidote. But you gotta. It's still a family show, but primarily targeted at kids, so you gotta get the funny stuff in there somehow. We're introduced to the debut of the RyuSoulgers combined mech, Kishiryu 5 Knights. Not a bad looking form. It's alright, but with how these mechs are designed, I think the simpler it is, the more appealing it is. I still think that 3 Knights or just Kishiryu Rex by itself look much better than any other form we've seen so far in this series. Simpler is better. I think it gets a bit too much when it's just multiple different pieces latched onto each other, but 5 Knights, despite that, it's not a bad looking form. The debut was alright. It was an average debut, and in the end, we don't really get the team 100% together. Bamba is too proud to admit that the RyuSoulgers are friends. Toa's he's lightened up to them, more friendlier towards the RyuSoulgers. Not Bamba. Probably going to take, maybe, given the pacing, 1 episode for him to come around. In the end, I would rate this episode 3.5 RyuSouls out of 5. Above average. Wasn't a bad episode. The problem, as always, which I'm going to assume is a problem throughout the rest of this series, the pacing. The pacing is so quick, and I'm going to spoil this. Tankjo is defeated. Yep, near the end of this episode, Tankjo is defeated. The first of the generals of the Druidon tribe is gone. And I've said this before, while I like the fact that RyuSoulger is not wasting time, it's mainly sticking to the story. There is no filler-esque episodes, whatever. The pacing is too quick, so all the development is going by too fast. And this is the same with Tankjo. He's only been a major character for 3 episodes, and that's including this one. He hasn't really had time to develop as a villain. He's just the brute strength enforcer, pretty much. You don't get a lot out of him, so he's kind of a weak villain. And the whole avenging Master Ed, etc., changing it over to protecting the world that the Masters left in their hands, that kind of arc with RyuSoul Red and Tankjo and just the RyuSoulgers in general, that goes by quick because of the pacing. It doesn't feel like there is a resolution. It just doesn't feel like a satisfactory resolution. And, you know, the pacing is just going to be such a huge problem because of this. It's going by too fast. But I'm going to assume it's going to be like this for the rest of the season. Because next episode we're getting introduced to another general. So I think the generals are just going to drop like flies. There's quite a few of them based on the opening and when the Druidon tribe is introduced. We're going to see a lot more. They're all probably going to be dispatched very quickly until we get to the actual boss, the final antagonist of the series. So that is all. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next time.